Well, let's start with the fact that the NIEs have said consistently that Bush's failed policy in Iraq is actually creating more terrorists than it's defeating.
Okay, you respond to that, please.
No, first off, we're saying that the war on terror is to be take out of Iraq, get out of Iraq, and come back home. That's not the case, Chris. Let's infuse more money into the intelligence programs. Let's find these folks where they are. Let's be overseas. Let's be in Iraq where we have generals on the ground who are there, who are active, who are taking all kinds of intelligence and they're using it to our benefit. To come home and to say that we should retreat is absolutely the wrong way to go.
Which is obviously not what we're saying. We're not saying retreat at all. We're saying let's get smart about this. We're saying let's have an effective, proactive strategy. Let's not just have... It's been ineffective, and you know it. The policies in Iraq are not working. They're creating more terrorists than they're actually defeating. They're making the problem worse.
Chris,
what we're saying is it's also time to transition the mission. The military mission, it's time to transition to a political solution. When are the Iraqis going to stand up for themselves and take control of their country?
Who are these? Let me ask you this, Lisa. When you think about terrorists, they all tend to be men in their early 20s. That means 5 years from now, 16-year-olds and 15-year-olds will be terrorists. The terrorists we confront in 5 years are teenagers now. How do you stop those teenage boys, generally, Arab kids, Islamic kids, from becoming terrorists? How do you do that? How do you stop them from becoming the people that set car bombs in Piccadilly Circus and maybe in New York someday?
I don't consider myself to be an expert on security and that issue, but I can tell you, though...
You said you're an expert on fighting terrorism. How do you do it in that case? How do you stop terrorists from becoming terrorists? It's not an ethnic group. These people choose to become terrorists. How do you stop them from making that choice?
Fundamentally, we go into their countries and we help them understand better ways to live and better ways to go. That's why we want to grow democracy overseas in countries like Iraq. That's why we want to help them get into Iraq.
Well, but unfortunately in Iraq that's not quite working, is it? Because we know the surge isn't quite working, is it? It's actually creating more terrorists.
That report isn't due out until September.
We already know it's not working, Lisa.
Okay, thank you, Karen. Great. We must have you back we can talk about everything here. In fact,